All right, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shirat David, Baruch Hashem. We're all getting ready for Sukkot, Baruch Hashem. Isn't it amazing? Did everyone get the dollar meeting yet?
Yeah, I bought mine yesterday.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. The selection here is so beautiful.
The prices are so much cheaper than the States.
It's amazing, right? I find over here, whenever they charge $1 in America, they charge a shekel here. Right? If it's $100 in America, here's 100 shekel.
Well, certain things are cheaper.
No, like these type of things, where you buy $1 minimum and things like that. Yeah. It's amazing. Svarim is like that also.
Well, the shipping charges are much less.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, Baruch Hashem. We're lucky we're here. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Okay, so everyone, we're gonna continue today with Siyata Deshmai, of course, Likutey Halachos Hilchos Tefillin, Halacha Vav Lamed Beis. We're in middle of Lamed Beis. We're gonna try to finish Lamed Beis today, guys. We'll go a little quicker so we can finish it. Okay, we'll try our best. Okay, so we're up to Vizeh Ikar HaTahara Mizumas Mitzrayim Hu L'Tayar MiPigama Bris Sheba Yedei Pigama Machshava. Okay. So here Rav Nassan is telling us something very, very special. Very, very special. Look at the words that he says. Ikar HaTahara Mizumas HaMitzrayim. The main purification, to cleanse ourselves from the impurity of Mitzrayim, L'Tayar MiPigama Bris, to purify ourselves from the immorality of Egypt, right? And that mind frame. And has it come? Ayedei Pigama Machshava. Is if we blemish our machshava, right? If we don't watch our thoughts, right? If we don't keep our thoughts in control. Like we said, we gave the example of a person's riding on a horse, right? The horse has, the horse wants to go where it wants to go. The mind wants to go where it wants to go. In the same way, the rider has to grab the reins and control the horse. We have to grab our machshava, our thought. How do we do that? By constantly changing the thought, right? By constantly changing the thought is how we can fix our machshavas. Okay? And did anyone think about that? Any questions on that? No? Anyone have any questions on that? No? Wow, good. Wow, this is great. Wow. Okay. Ki ikar tahara ayedei sheshomer mamaya kichut hasahara. We have to watch our mind kichut hasahara. Like we said, like a hair's breadth. You have to be very, 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 very delicate. Very delicate. Leval yetze lechutz gevul, v'afilu im kvar yotza k'moi sheyotza bekal yechoylin la'achziroi al yedei chut ha'sa'ara. So it's so simple. Even if the person says, I don't know, Rav Nassan, thank you for telling me this, but I don't know, my mind, I go crazy. All day my mind is driving me crazy, and I don't know how to deal with it. So Rav Nassan says, okay, fine. You're okay. You can deal with it. It seems like it's a task that's impossible, but it's not that hard. And that's what Rav Nassan is trying to teach us, that really we could control what we're thinking, and then that can always keep us in the right mind frame, right? That's what, because the immoral thoughts, the improper thoughts, right? All these things, they just try to knock us down. They try to bring us to depression, right? And the whole idea is to be besimcha. How do you be besimcha? You be besimcha if you're always thinking with the Rebbeinu Shalom, you're one with Hashem, and you think about your place in the world. And that's an amazing thing. Okay, now, I start now to think of a different thought. Machshava acheres, right? Another thought. Not that thing. I can change it. Because when the other one starts to come in, even on a hair's breadth, it comes in and it's starting to get, just change it right there. Don't let it fester. Just change it right away. Like something pure, put in a pure thought. Think of something nice. Think of something good. Okay. Now, tia nidcha machshava rishonim memela. Then you'll be able to push away memela. You'll be able to push away the other thought. Why? Because again, you can only think about one thing at a time, right? right? You can only think about one thing at a time. So now, if that thought is coming in to trying to disturb you, so then you could bring the other thought in, and you could change it to something good, and then you'll do it. You're going to tell me, well, the other thought's going to come back again, so change it again. Don't try to stop thinking about the other thing, because Rabbi Nachman says it's not going to work, because the machshava is going to get stronger. Right? If you try to push it away, it's going to get stronger. But what you could just do is to just simply change it. Switch it. It's very good advice. It's wonderful advice. If you try it sometime, if it's something, we all have during the day, what?
An own thing, right? You can't say to somebody like, the next 5 minutes, don't think of an elephant. It doesn't work. So simple.
No, but think of a kitten. You can't not think about something, but you can't think about something else.
If you tell someone not to think about something, like you just said, John, right away you're going to be thinking about it.
You got to think about something else, right? This is what he's saying.
Exactly. That's what the Rebbe's saying. But Shalom gave a good example. That's a wonderful example.
My wife has a great thing she learned. She just doesn't hit herself hard at all. She goes, next.
She goes next.
Just says if she's got a bad thought or if I'm jabbering about something she didn't want to hear, she'll go next. Just move the thought to something next. Next thought. You get rid of this one.
Next. Oh, that's interesting. Good. Very good. Oh, very good tachbulot. Strategies. Very good. Very good.
Works for me.
Okay. So now the Rebbe is saying, like, he's going to teach us now. So we're talking here about with Sfiras Omer, right? And we're trying to understand really, because when we came out of Mitzrayim, the whole idea was the thoughts of Mitzrayim, right? The Mitzrayim was the Meitzar Yam, right? Mitzrayim, right? We kept our minds closed. We couldn't think of new things. We only could think about what they wanted us to think about. That's how they were controlling us. I mean, the communists came up with that same idea, right? That's what they did. They would control people's minds, right? Is that what they were trying to do?
Like any isms.
Right. They would just try to control what people are thinking and put thoughts into people's minds, right? They want you to think that.
Thought police.
What?
The thought police.
The thought police, yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, but then we came out of Mitzrayim, right? Hashem took us out, and then we have this mitzvah of Sfira, right? The mitzvah of Sfira. Right, so he says, "V'al kei maschilin miyad lispra hayamim la'omer ki hayamim mehem hachiyas shel adam." Because the days, right? We count the days, right? The days are the life of a person, right? We say every day we have to lengthen our day. We have to be marach the yom, right? We have to lengthen the day. How do we lengthen the day? By constantly thinking of Hashem, learning Torah, doing mitzvos, right? That's how we can lengthen our day. That's our life. Ki kol chiyusei nichla b'yamim v'zman shehem kol yemei chayav. And each one of the days all together, that's what makes up a person's life. Okay, fine. We all understand that. Vikir achiyas hiya ha'chochma shebemayach. And again, we said that the main chiyas is, the main life force of a person is the wisdom, the knowledge he has in his mind, the chochma that the person has in his mind. Right? Because again, if you have the right thoughts, so then you're conducting your life in the right way, right? If the person is thinking bad, so then it's not going to be productive. All right? Right. Machshava. And that's the idea of the Omer and the Midah. Right, measure and a weight, right? The meter, right? You have to understand. Everything has to be very carefully figured out. Like he said like before, kichut hasa'ara, right? Like a little hair's breadth. What is the right thing for me to do, right? Bebechinas oimes oirim she'ein shnei sa'aros she'hem shnei machshavos yicholim lichnos b'pam achas. You can't have two hairs. You can't have two thoughts in one time. Again, he says it again. Rav Nasser really wants us to understand this. K'maishe kasav mi filag l'shetef ta'ala. Right? In other words, if you have, what is he saying here? It's a pasuk from Eov. So he's quoting this pasuk from Eov. That there's a difference. I guess it means there's a difference from each one of the sa'aras that come out of the hole, right? In other words, from each hair, right? Each hair that grows, right? Each hair that grows. So there's a what do they call that where the hair grows out
Follicle, hair
of that?
follicle.
Follicle, but where it comes out of.
Oh, root,
The follicle it comes out of the scalp, right?
Yeah.
The hair grows out of the scalp, right? So each one grows what?
Dela? Which word? Dela?
Yeah, I think so. Each word comes. It really means that's what he's trying to say. It comes from its own thing. It's from its own source. From its own source. Each hair, no two hairs come out of one socket. Right? You can't. Maybe that's what he's trying to. No two hairs grow from the same spot. Hair socket, right? Each socket has one hair, right? Same thing with grass, right? When grass grows, right? Each blade of grass grows up by itself. Each blade of grass, each hair is by itself. So again, that's what you see is giving us the example from Eov that each thought is something else from the other. It's not connected to the other. Okay, the same way, that's why he's using the example of the Sa'ara, the hair. Why the hair? Because each hair grows out of its own socket.
Right.
Okay, that's very good. Okay. What?
Yeah, it looks like it's all together, but it's not. Each one is individual.
Each is individual from its own thing, right? So that's why the same thing with our thoughts, right? We think it's one big thing. All the thoughts are all one big mess, but it's not. They're all individual, and that's what we're trying to understand. They're all separate. They're all separate, trying to confuse us, right? The Sitrach is sending these things in to try to confuse us. But if we understand the source that each one is separate, so then I can know how to deal with it.
Right.
Okay,
That's
there
what
we
he's explaining,
Right,
right.
I believe that's what he's trying to tell us over here. It's wonderful, right? Sheva Shabbos Temimos Tiana. That way you have to have 7 full complete weeks, right? Complete weeks, 7 full weeks when you count the sphere, right? You have 49 days. So 7 times 7 is 49, correct? Shetzrichen Lispor Tchilas Hayom. We start counting that day, Kedei Sheyu Temimus. We count that it should be Temimus, it should be complete. We want to have complete days, right? You know, when we come to Shavuos, so you know they're very, very careful to daven Meir after this month to make sure it's very, the first night is when you come to Shavuos, you daven later. Why? Because you want to be Temimim. You want to have complete days. You don't want to bring it close. You want to complete the cycle. You want to have a complete cycle. All right. You have to, when you start the day because you're counting it into the Omer, into the counting. The same way we have a counting during the Sefirah, we have a counting every day, every single day. Each day is counting into the days of our lives, right? Each day is counted into our life. Unbelievable. Okay. Then you could bring it, you can draw upon yourselves the purity of the Omer, this measure, right? Shel HaMachshava, of the machshavas, the right machshavas. You could push off all bad thoughts. You could push because you have a program. You understand that each day, like when it comes to the Sefirah, each day, you have the day that you're in. Now we have every single day as part of the Sefirah too, right? Sunday is Chesed, Monday is Gevura, Tuesday is Tferes, Wednesday is Netzach, Thursday is Hoid, right? Today is Thursday, it's Hoid, right? The day of Hoid, it's Aharon HaKohen, right? Today is the day of Aharon HaKohen, right? Thursdays, and what was the whole idea of Hoid? Giving thanks to Hashem. Right, so the theme of today, the theme of Thursday is to thank Hashem. Is that amazing, right? So you can really find the Sefirah in every single day, because you can think of what day that you're in, which Sefirah is it connected to, and plug it in. So the theme of today is thank Hashem. How do you like that? All right. All right. Okay. And the same idea we said that the kedushas abris, the person's purity, right? The person's purity is dependent on what his machshava, dependent on his thought, right? The person can't say that he can think of anything he wants and he's going to be a pure person. It's not going to work, right? If the person thinks good things, so then the person will do good things. If the person's thinking wrongful things, he's not going to do good things. Most likely, correct? Most likely. Shemamshichim b'yemei hasvira, they come during the days of Sfira. Tzrichen lizor bazeh mi'oid mitchilas hayom levli lahaskel laniach lichnois b'machshava roh chas v'shalom. Don't let even in the morning, specifically the same way when it comes to Sfira, you do it right away. Right? So the same thing every morning, you watch what the thoughts come into your mind right away. So you set the day up the correct way so the day goes well and you have atzlacha during that day. V'im kvar nichnasa, chas v'sholem yidcha oisay, and if a bad thought came into your mind, just push it off. We're learning the lesson, right? The same way two hairs don't grow out of one socket. That hair, so pull out that hair, start with the next hair, and so on. You keep doing the idea.
Well, see, it seems what he's saying here is one of the reasons for the counting of the Omer is that so we train ourselves in this.
Exactly.
Kind of use those 7 weeks to.
We're training ourselves to make every moment count, to make every moment to realize that every machshava can be changed. And how do you learn it? All from tefillin.
It all goes back to the tefillin.
It all goes back to tefillin. Isn't that great? It's fascinating. Okay, now, so that's what it means, 7 complete weeks. How do you have complete weeks? You don't want to have any missing time segments, right? You don't want to have any missing time segments of your 7 complete weeks. So if you keep the machshava always in check and you're always thinking the right thing, so you're filling the day completely in the right way, and then you have a complete day, which means you'll wind up with complete weeks, which means you'll have a complete counting of the Sfira, and this finishes Lamed Beis, Lev. All right? Mm-hmm. It's amazing how Lamed Beis went into the Lev, because really also machshavas of the heart, right? The things of the heart, the heart desires, right? Mm-hmm. The heart desires, the mind thinks, right? So really, Reb Nosson gave us the whole idea. It's so funny how nice, wonderful, how it falls into even in the letter, the theme of the lesson. Okay, let's see Lamed Gimel now. Okay. Okay, so now the Rebbe says, "She'talasa haTorah mitzvah hasvira b'Shabbos." Now you know the Torah says we should count the Sfira when Mimachras HaShabbos, right? Mimachras HaShabbos. So the Tzdukim said, what does that mean? They didn't have Torah Shabbat Peh, right? So they say that every Sunday was a Sfira, right? They didn't say you don't count Sfira, right? But they said that you count it on Sunday, because Mimachras HaShabbos. So the day after Shabbos is what? Sunday. Right? But we know Mimachras HaShabbos, Pesach, the Yom Tov of Pesach is called Shabbos. Because the whole idea of Shabbos is Emunah. Pesach, the whole is Emunah. Right? So therefore, the whole idea says we Mimachras HaShabbos after the morning of Shabbos, after the morning of Pesach. Okay. Mimachras HaShabbos. Okay. Ad Mimachras HaShabbos until Mimachras HaShabbos. In other words, complete 7 weeks. You count Mimachras HaShabbos ad Machras HaShabbos, right? Like we said, Sheva Shabbasois Temimais have to be 7 complete weeks. Ki Iker Kaya Kedushas Hadas or Machshavu Bechinas Mitzvah Svira Hu Nimshach Mi Shabbos. It all comes back to Shabbos. Shabbos is, and tefillin, because we said on Shabbos we don't wear the tefillin, right? You don't need to wear the tefillin because Shabbos itself is an ice, right? We always have to have 2 signs with us, right? 2 signs that we're connected to Hashem, right? One sign that we all always have, is the bris kodesh, right? We have our bris. So that's one sign. So during the week, you need a second sign. What's the second sign? You have the tefillin. But when Shabbos comes, Shabbos is ois hi li'olam. Shabbos is an ois. Shabbos is an ois hi li'olam. It's also a sign. So that's why on Shabbos you don't need to have the tefillin, because Shabbos itself is an ois.
Oh, that's the sign. Okay.
That's like it says Shabbos ois hi li'olam. Shabbos ois hi li'olam. Right? It's a sign. We have that sign. We have that remembrance of Hashem on Shabbos, and therefore we don't have to wear the tefillin. Right? Okay?
Women don't have a sign during the week.
What?
Women.
They don't need it. They're connected to Hashem. We need it. Yeah, we need it. Yeah, the women they know what they're doing. Yeah, we're the ones that they need the constant remembrance. Yeah. Well, the Yetzer Hara really bothers us a lot more than they bother the women, right? For the most part. I'm not going to say in every case, but in general, okay? Are you masking with that? Okay, there we go. Because the 6 days of the week, right? The 6 days of creation are the days of the week, the days that we worked, right? We worked 6 days a week, right? Here in Eretz Yisrael, Mamish makes sense because you do work 6 days, right? 6 days of the week you're supposed to do your work, and on the 7th day should be Shabbos. Your Shabbos should be for Hashem. Okay. The main malacha that we have in this world is not the physical work that we do, the trades that we do, right? The professions that a person has. The main thing is making the birurim, the clarifications in one's mind, and connecting himself always to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's our real malacha. Because again, we have the Yetzer Hara, ki tzeitzei la'malchama aloivecha, right? The Chazal teach us, what's your avecha? Your Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is constantly bothering us. Right? We're always constantly going to battle with the Yetzer Hara. And how do you do that? By controlling the thoughts, right? So you have to always be making birurim, all right? How do you make the clarifications? By fixing your thoughts, always working on the thoughts. Rav Nassim wants to drive this point home, right? Last time he was working on the humility. He was working on humility and the gaiva, right? He goes on and on and on. Now he's going to go on and this. So we have to understand this idea, the machshava, the thoughts, right? It's amazing. He really wants to make sure we understand these points, right? It's wonderful. As we spoke about so much before in Lamed Beis, from watching your mind, watching your thoughts, from like a chud asari, even a little hair's breadth. And when something comes in, you right away switch it. You right away change it. You right away change it. That's how you can fix all the nitzaitas, the sparks. You can fix everything. You can fix the nitzaitas HaKadoshim through doing that. It's amazing really what happens when we work on controlling what we see, which lends on what we're going to think about, right? The imagination and all of these things. It's really one program. It really starts with what you see, right? When you work on, Shmiras Einayim, watching what you're looking at, that already is going to help the machshava. That's going to help everything, right? Because again, the less things that you're looking at that are not pure, right? The less things you'll sit in, the less things you'll have less thoughts coming in. That's all. Okay. Now, v'zeh bechinas v'amalei oisei ruach elikim b'chachma v'sun v'das b'chol malacha. Right. This is in Shemais when it came to the building of the Mishkan. Right. When it came to the building of the Mishkan, I'll fill you with the Ruach Elikim. Ruach, we said the spirit, right? The spirit of the godly spirit. B'chachma, you'll have the wisdom. Ubesfuna, and the discernment, the vidas, and the knowledge. B'chol malacha, everything that you can do. Because again, the Mishkan was an amazing edifice that was built in the desert. Think about it. We didn't have fine, nice shops and fine equipment, and they were doing it in the desert. Right, could you imagine? Yeah, doing all these things in the middle of the desert. They built it in the desert. Unbelievable.
You're talking about the
Mishkan. Yeah. Bitzalel was charged with building the Mishkan, right? Because he had.
This was filling with wisdom, understanding, like this.
Yeah.
It was talking about Bitzalel, right?
I said that because Bitzalel built the Mishkan, right?
Yeah.
Right, so you would have that Kodesh Baruch gave him a special understanding, a special thing that he was able to do all of these things. Unbelievable to understand it. He mamish perceived all of these things. He never saw these things. Oh, we see all these nice books. We saw the nice pictures. We know, but Hashem gave him these things to make a shulchan. He never saw the shulchan. He had measurements. So how was it, what's it supposed to look? What?
I think Bitzalel was like the overseer, the manager of the project.
Yeah.
I think Oliyahu did most of the work, the physical work.
Well, okay, all right. But either way that he came out to the way Hashem wanted to do, it's unbelievable.
If I'm not mistaken, he was 13 years old.
Yeah.
Sense even more,
He was
like,
pure. He didn't get a chance to get defiled.
Yeah,
He was still a very pure guy. He was very pure.
You know, like nowhere.
Yeah. No, it wasn't experience. Yeah, he wasn't experienced. He wasn't an experienced craftsman. A carpenter and a metal worker. No, he was not at all. Not at all. Shem mechinas arba moichin. That's the 4 quadrants of the mind, right? We have 4 quadrants in the mind, right? Is that right? Right, 4 quadrants. Kamavaya b'Torah now. Nimsa shekoire hamayach haravi b'shem kol malacha. Right, the 4th quadrant of the mind is called kol malacha. Okay, fine. Kisham ikar malacha v'ha'umnis shel adam b'ze'olam. That's where you have this the trait to know how to use it. Right, that's where you have. That's the malach. That's the work and the craftsman. That's the craftsman is there. Shel adam b'ze'olam. Ki klal hamoichin. Chachma bina das. The mind is 3, right? The main is the 3. We learned a lot about this, right? Remember we learned about the shin, right? The shin on the tefillin, right? We have a shin with 3 prongs, right? Which is Chachma bina das. We said that the Chachma bina, the das, can turn into then Chachma, Chesed, and Gevura. And that's how you get the 4, right? You have Chachma bina, Chesed and Gevura. That's how you go from a 3-pronged shin to the 4-pronged shin. Okay. But sometimes it's called arba meichin. Sometimes they know it's really 3, but sometimes we refer to it as 4, and that's called the kol malacha, right? Because das is really 2. Das comes from 2. Remember, we said that das is 2. Das can turn into Chesed and Gevura.
Yeah.
Das can come from 1 into 2. All right? Shein bechinas chasadim ugvuras. That's the idea of kindness and judgment. Right. Okay. Ve'elu hamoichin amivarim b'pasuk v'amali oisei ruach elikim b'chachma v'sfuna heim chachma bina v'das b'chol melacha zeh bechinas mayach hadas hakol mishtayim. So the whole idea of the chachma, right? The chachma comes from the das. You understand? The chachma, why? In other words, in the pasuk where we just quoted, it says, right?
Right.
So what is that? Chachma is 1, Sfuna is Bina is 2, Das is 3, and B'chol Melacha, that's the 4th quadrant. That's the 4th section in the mind, right? That's where we said the idea that the das turns into 2 chasadim gvura, right? We said v'zeh bechinas v'das shu bechinas chasadim shebedas. That's the chesed of the das, right? You have a chesed, you have a kindness of the das, right? A kindness, and you have a judgment of the das, right? The das, right? You have chachma bina. Chachma and bina together give you the das, right? The same way you have chesed and gevura gives you tferes. The same way you have netzach and hoid gives you yisoid, right? And all together you have malchus, right? So the das, one aspect of das is chasadim, the other aspect of das is the gevura. Okay, there we go. Shein mechinas das stam ki heim ikar hadas, the das stam. When you have just stam das, plain knowledge, plain knowledge, you have plain knowledge, that is just stam das, that's stam. That's 1. That's like we said we have on the tefillin, we have the 3-pronged shin. It's just das. That's fine. In other words, it's kailal everything. But when you want to define the das, so then you define it with the chesed, the mercy, with the kindness and the gvura. Make sense? Good. Okay. Shu bechinas b'chol malacha kisham ikir ha'omnis v'hamalacha shel kol adam. That's where the main thing of every person is. That's our trade. That's what we're supposed to be a master craftsman in. To understand how to take the das, the knowledge that we have, and how to manifest it into chasadim when we need chasadim and when we need gevura. Know how to use it and when to use it. I shouldn't use gevura in a case where I need chasadim, and they shouldn't use chesed at a time that they need gevura.
What's the Hebrew word for what they translate as skill?
Umnus.
Huh?
Umnus.
A woman?
Uman, an uman. Uman is a craftsman.
A craftsman.
An uman is a craftsman, yes.
What's sodas?
Huh?
Sodas, you said?
Sodos?
You said two words.
Umanut.
What?
It's umanut.
No, it was a word before that. Go ahead, you know.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, so do we understand the concept over here we're trying to say?
Yeah.
In other words, we have the same bechol malacha, right? It says that he's going to be Hakadosh Baruch Hu is going to be malei betzalel with chachma usfuna udas, right? 3 aspects. Das, simple das, is just plain knowledge. Is the 3. Right? But then when you bechol malacha, how to do the malacha? Well, when you're doing work, you have to know when to use kindness, when to do right? When you're carving something, right? So you have to know what to cut off. You have to know what to polish. You have to know. You have to know how to use your things properly, and that's the 4th quadrant of the mind. Okay. Well, we're getting a lesson in the brain today. See that? He knows everything. Okay. Okay. Yadua. The whole idea of the sitrach at the other side is gevura and din. He likes to be harsh, and he likes judgment, right? Gevura and din. Valkain sham bechinas mayach hagvuras sham anechazim amachshava izorah shel sitrach. The bad thoughts that come in from the sitrach, that's part of the gevura. That's part of the gevura. That's part of the judgment. That's part of the din. That he sticks those things in. He's trying to knock the person down. He's using his might to push it in. Right? Again, gevura is might. So he's using his might to try to push his thought in. He's trying to push it in. Unbelievable the way Rav Natzon explains it, right? It's gevura, right? Because he's trying to push his thoughts into your mind to make you act a certain way.
It's gevura?
You need to use your might, right? When you want to
prevent him from pushing it in.
No. He uses gevura to try to push it in. You have to use your gevura to push back against him. See what's going on? There's a battle going on here.
War.
There's a battle going on. He's explaining, really defining it to us really nicely. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he explains it. Yeah.
What?
He goes on and explains.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. Shesham ikra beira, v'sham ikra milchama. That's where you have the clarification. That's where you have the war. There's a battle going on. He's trying to put this thought in. No, and I'm changing. I'm pushing out his thought to change my next thought. See what's going on? It's fascinating, right? There's a battle going on. He sends in another thought. He gives you a punch. That's a punch. So then you give him a punch back and you change the thought. Wow. That's why it's called bechol malacha, all your work. Why? That's the real work, and that's the real craftsmanship that you have to know how to use. You have to be a professional. You have to be a professional on how to do this. To cleanse it, to polish it, to clean it from all of the dross, from all of the impurity. Right, when a craftsman is making a kli, right? He's turning or he's working on, he polishes this, he has to do all the things that they have to do, right? You ever see them make, let's say, like a silver cup or something? It's amazing what they do. It spins around and they did this and they move that. It's amazing how they get it to be so beautiful, and the way they polish it, right?
Blown glasses.
I saw that. That's amazing in Tzfas. That's something special, right? That's something amazing. These trades that people thought of to blow glass. I mean, wow. Who would have thought of that? It's amazing, right? And they blow it a certain way, and then it makes a certain shape, and they can do this, and they can mold it. Unbelievable. In order to take away all the things around it, in order to get your kli the way you want your kli to be, the way you want to design it, the way you want it to come out, the person thinks about it, he can actually, produce it to the way he thought, like we say, Saif Maaseh b'machshava tchila, right? That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does. Saif Maaseh b'machshava tchila. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's outcome is the way he originally intended it to be initially. You understand? That's what Hashem does. By us, it doesn't always work out like that. We want one thing and we wind up with something else, right? Right? Sometimes, right? I tend to do this and I wind up doing something else, right? But by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's Saif Masa, the end result, b'machshava tchila, like his original intention, okay? Amazageh, okay? Yeah. That's one of the most beautiful parts of the davening that we have. We realize that Kodesh Baruch Hu. Look, the bottom line is what are we saying to Hashem? The bottom line is, listen, I'm just clay. I'm just clay in your hand. You shape me the way you want to shape me. Really, that's the greatest. That's the greatest demonstration of anava, of humility, because you're really saying, Hashem, like I'm a vineyard, and you're my you're trimming me. You're doing everything the way you want it to do. What do you want from me?
Talking about that prayer we say in
Yeah. Kionu amecha Yeah. Baruch Hashem. Yeah. Okay. Kamay kain tzrichen lezakeh gemachshava legaresh hamoisves hapsoilish hamachshava. Same thing we have to do with the same way the craftsman works on the kli to make his nice vessel the way he wants it to look. We have to work on crafting our mind, fixing up the mind all the time. Remember, it's always a battle. The same way he's throwing his punch, he's trying to come into you. You have to throw the punch back. Okay, because every single day you want to accept in the morning, you want to get every single day the nefesh, ruach, neshama of the day that comes into you that day. You want it to be pure. You don't want it to come in with any impurity. So you have to watch your thoughts, how they come in, because it all enters in through the mayach. Al kol al zeh bekama tfilos. Okay, now v'zeh bechinas kol malacha maseh bereisha shoyu b'sheishes semei ha'maisa. Right, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu made this, you see that we're in Yonah the Omer, right? We're coming up to Bereshis again, right? Right, we're in V'zayis HaBracha, right after Sukkot, we're going to read Bereshis, right? So here we're learning about it. Here, the first lesson in Bereshis. See, you see that right here. See, okay. Bechinas kol meleches ma'aseh bereshis. All of the things what HaKadosh Baruch Hu was doing when He was creating the world in meleches bereshis, the creation, the formation of the world. Shoyu b'sheishis yimei ha'ma'aseh, the 6 days of creation, right? Chen kol meleches she'adam ma'aseh b'chol yom misheishis yimei ha'ma'aseh. So to us, the same way we do those in the 6 days of 6 days of work that we have are connected to the 6 days of creation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. 6 days, right? Isn't it amazing how the world? I'll tell you one thing I was thinking about. It's amazing. The Torah says that the world was created in 6 days and Hashem rested on the 7th day, right? But the whole world always goes on what? On a 7-day week.
Right.
You ever think of that? Where did it come from? No, I understand. Every one of the religions, everywhere in the world, they go by 7 days in the week, right? Isn't that amazing?
There was once a movement.
They wanted to change that?
They wanted to make it to 10 days. It just didn't go.
It didn't work.
A 10-day week, huh?
Yeah, it didn't work. Like 200 years ago, somebody was, I forget what it was.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. Mamash ki kulam ein bechinas birurim levaran itzaitzais mi'umkei aklipas. The whole thing is to constantly to clarify all the things from the klipas, the husks of impurity. Again, that's the same idea that the machshav, they keeps trying to stick those things in. Kayadua. Rav Nosson says everyone knows this. He's bringing it down from the Zayah. It's very good. The ikar habeira ayidei kedushas hamachshava. The main thing is, again, fixing up and cleansing and purifying your thoughts. If you watch him machshava from even like from a hair's breadth, so thin. Like we said, then you'll have the chokhmah, bina, the das will come into the gvura and the chesed in the gvura. You'll know how to be able to be mighty, powerful, in order to fight back against the sitrach when he tries to push those thoughts into your mind. You'll be able to use that. Okay, oh, here we go. Yosef Atzadik. When he came to work, right? That famous day that he came to work and he came to the house and there was nobody there. And Ashes Paitifa was there. And she was seducing him. Right? And he was thinking, well, I don't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. But then he saw in the window, he saw the Maisduk Maishalav, right? Right? He saw his father. He saw the tzaddik. He saw the tzaddik.
That's what's it.
He saw the V'yonis V'chutzer and he ran away. Right? Vayimoin. It says Vayimoin, right? Vayimoin with a shalshelis on it, right? 3 times, right? Vayimoin, right? Shalshelis, right? Lidei Nisai, when he came to that test, Vayovaya Baisa Lasais Malachtai. He came to the house to do his work. What was his work? We just said, what's the work? Fixing the machshava. Yeah. Right? He's coming to work, coming to the house to fix this, to do malacha. What was the malacha? He's trying to take the das and make it into chesed and gevura. Right? So what happens? Because the main task that we have in this world is to stand up to the test. Stand up to the test. What's the main taiva that a person has? What's the thing that attacks the person the most desire, the desire that attacks him the most when it comes to immorality, these type of things. He has to watch himself, like his thoughts, like a hair's breadth. You have till 8:10, don't you?
Well, I think it started.
Okay.
Do you mind?
No. B'chol pam. Okay, so we'll.
What you gonna do?
Okay, no. So we'll stop over here and we'll continue Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow. Okay. Okay.